This episode is brought to you by Merrill. Join one of the most iconic names in wealth management, Merrill. You'll be part of a dynamic team of advisors and specialists working hard every day to grow their clients' wealth. And with the support of best-in-class research, advanced digital tools, and the resources of a global institution, it's truly an opportunity you can be bullish about. Learn more at careers.bankofamerica.com. Copyright 2024, Bank of America Corporation.
This is Kristen Bell.
And Adam Brody.
And we're dating.
In our new show, Nobody Wants This.
Right. We're not really dating.
No, in real life, we're married.
Right. Married to other people, not each other.
Oh, this is complicated.
Right. It's just like our love lives in Nobody Wants This, a show about what happens when a bold and sometimes provocative podcast host finds her unlikely match in a sweet traditional rabbi.
You can watch every episode of Nobody Wants This now, only on Netflix.
This is Optimal Finance Daily, Finding Belonging by Shana Olmstead of shanaolmstead.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. Welcome back to our Sunday bonus episode, where I share an article with you from a different podcast in our network. Today's episode's coming from Optimal Relationships Daily. So with that, here's Greg with the post and commentary as we optimize your life.
Finding Belonging by Shana Olmstead of shanaolmstead.com. I was 24, a brand new mom, married in the suburbs and feeling very alone. I had only lived in my community for a few days and had never been great about meeting people. I was shy and introverted, and I liked being alone anyway. Once I had my son, however, he motivated me to try to find people to hang out with. I thought, I have to make friends for him. So I joined a Gymboree class for babies when he was 4 months old. I was younger than the other moms by 5 or 10 years, and not as fancy. I didn't have designer jeans or an expensive handbag, and I drove an old beat-up pickup instead of a BMW like them. Even so, I pushed myself to pass around a paper for the other moms to put down their name and number so we could get together. I was making friends for myself and my son. We had a lovely moms group for a few years. I felt a sense of belonging. Over time, I had a spiritual awakening and felt less of a sense of belonging with this group. We seemed to have less and less in common as I grew into my consciousness. Now I was 29, with 2 kids under 5, single, and going back to college. I felt a calling to come to this school, but did not right away feel a sense of belonging. I felt old and out of place. There weren't too many single moms in my cohort at school, and most people were at least a few years younger than me. Everybody was so organic and holistic and vegan and stuff. I was that way on the inside, but also wore makeup, curled my hair, and wore dorky suburban mom clothes from Costco and Target. I felt out of place for sure, even though I knew these were my people on the inside. After we graduated, even though I was nervous about it, I started initiating Bastard Ladies get-togethers with my favorite people from college. It took until after we graduated to feel a true sense of belonging with my college friends, but now I consider them family. I held on to my faith and intuition, knowing that even though my ego was scared that I wouldn't fit in, my soul knew we belonged together. It's hard and scary to not feel a sense of belonging. We're created to belong and have a feeling of connection and community. It's healthy for our mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional well-being. I know lots of you empaths are saying that you don't need that because you really like being alone. I get that. I have a really big need for solitude as well. Like, I really need it. I also know that I love and need to spend time with people I love and to feel a sense of belonging. It helps me to feel grounded, supported, and loved. We also sometimes outgrow the sense of belonging we have always had as we grow and evolve. Maybe your family or old friends don't understand you anymore, and you're looking to feel belonging again in a new way. Whether you have never felt that sense of belonging or need a new tribe, here are some tips to help. Remember, you are never alone. After my spiritual awakening, while I was still looking for a sense of belonging, I started to realize that I was actually never alone. When I recognized my spiritual connection, I understood that none of us are ever alone. We're surrounded by a loving presence of light constantly. This presence wants us to feel loved, guided, and protected always. We're never alone. One easy way to tap into this is to close your eyes and imagine God or Jesus, white light or an angel, whatever you believe, right next to you. This spiritual presence is all around you, all the time, wanting you to feel a sense of belonging. Explore what you love. For me, my love of all things spiritual and holistic brought me to a school community of others who were also passionate about those things. For you, it might be hockey, or cooking, or music. Find what you love and go find places to explore that with other people. In order to find people that you feel you belong with, go do things that interest and excite you. Find a meetup, or a class or workshop, or volunteering opportunity, and just go do it. Reach out. When you go explore what you love, or just in everyday life, if you want to be reached out to, do the reaching out. Even though I was super shy, and I've come a long way, I pushed myself to start the moms group when my son was a baby. Even though I felt old and out of place at college, I pushed myself to reach out and invite people to get together and ended up with lifelong family. I know it's not always easy, and you may have a story about yourself that says you are not someone who does that. But guess what? You can change your story. And connection and belonging are very important in order to stay healthy and happy for your whole life. Remember, everyone is looking for belonging too. If you're scared to reach out, remember that they are too. Everyone wants belonging, and they might be just as scared as you are to just take that first step of reaching out and connecting. We are all one already. We just sometimes need to remind our cute little humanness of that. Our ego gets scared of rejection and being vulnerable, even though in truth, there is nothing to fear. Feel it out. If you are out of your head, your intuition will easily guide you to those new connections that will be in your highest good. It will guide you on what to say and how to connect. It will lead you to the sense of belonging you're looking for. Don't try to belong where you don't belong. Trust the signs and your intuition about where you belong. If you keep trying to make yourself fit in somewhere and it doesn't feel right, it might be the wrong people or environment for you. Practice connecting with your feelings and energy in that situation. Do you feel lighter, happier, and energized? Or depleted, frustrated, and contracted? Don't try to force yourself to fit into an accountant's world if you're an artist, or being a football fan if you are a sensitive pacifist. Sometimes we feel like we don't belong because we are meant to grow and change and find a new place of belonging. Trust that it's already here. Of course, along the way, it's always important to spend time imagining and visualizing what you want in a general way. Feel and imagine yourself feeling a deep sense of belonging, laughing, and having fun with the people who truly understand you. Stop telling yourself or anyone else that you're lonely or don't know how to connect with people. Instead, remind yourself it's easy to connect, and what if I always belong? You can do this. Family and a spouse are not enough to fill this in your life. Everyone needs a tribe of their own. It doesn't have to be big, but it has to be yours. I hope you remember, separation is an illusion. We all already belong. You just listened to the post titled, Finding Belonging by Shana Olmstead of shanaolmstead.com.
Buy low, sell high. It's easy to say, hard to do. For example, high interest rates are crushing the real estate market right now. Demand is dropping and prices are falling, even for many of the best assets. It's no wonder the F.I.R.E flagship fund plans to go on a buying spree, expanding its billion-dollar real estate portfolio over the next few months. You can add the F.I.R.E flagship fund to your portfolio in just minutes and with as little as $10 by visiting fundrise.com/OFD. That's FUNDRISE.com/OFD. Carefully consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the F.I.R.E flagship fund before investing. This and other information can be found in the fund's prospectus at fundrise.com/flagship. This is a paid advertisement.
And thanks a lot to Shana for this post. I have to say, I've kind of had a similar philosophy for a while regarding loneliness, which feels as though it's applicable enough to what she's talking about. So, first, we need to be sure that we're understanding loneliness or a lack of belonging for what it is. And that's a feeling. Feelings are fleeting, right? They come and go. So it's important to remember this when we trick ourselves into thinking that we are perpetually lonely or perpetually lack belonging. These are just temporary feelings, which are apt to change. So we mustn't classify ourselves as lonely people or people who just don't belong. Now, sure, it's easy to do that, but it's ultimately a fallacy is what I'm saying. It's a fallacy not only because these feelings are in flux, but because so many people in the world feel the same and yearn for connection the same way. So, though you may not know them yet or be physically close to them, there's still a unity in that, a quality that you share with millions of others. You have a huge sense of belonging to the people who are feeling the same as you, even though, ironically, the feeling is categorized by not having others in your camp. Just definitely something to think about if you do seek to redefine loneliness or that lack of belonging. That's all for me, though, everyone. I appreciate you being here today and listening to both the post and my commentary. Wishing you a great start to your week and looking forward to being here again with you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.